is PReP model? In this presentation, we are going to explain the modeling method of the PReP model. This is the notation that represents entity in the PReP model. In the entity-based process modeling, what to define as an entity is very important. In the PReP model, an entity is defined as a product. A product is an entity created by a productive activity. Also, we set two conditions for a product in the PReP model. The first condition is that a product should be a chunk. A chunk is a conceptual unit that functions in light of the business objective. For example, a block of wood is a pillar when the objective is to build a house. It can be a neck when making a giraffe. So it is important to define a product considering the objective of a process. The second condition is that the product must be managed within the business process. Managed means that everyone involved in the operation can point to the same product. The PReP model also defines the relationships between two products. An input relationship is when the attribute value of a product is input to the attribute value of another product. A synchronous relationship is when the attribute values of the products involved are interrelated and are determined by communication of those attributes. In the PReP model, the relationships between products are represented by these two relationships only. There are several types of products defined in the PReP model. Also, notations such as actor, sub-process, and external process are defined. These are the notations needed to model a business process using the PReP model. One of the features of the PReP model is the validation of sufficiency in the process structure. This is possible because the PReP model is a structural model. Let's see how this validation is done by comparing an example of the PReP model with the one of the task-based modeling. On the left is the process to design a blueprint in the task-based modeling. The flow from check specifications, design, self-check, and returning to check specifications if there is something unclear seems to be sufficient as a process. Now, on the right side, I am going to show the same design process with the entity-based PReP model. It describes the relationships between the products managed in the process of creating a blueprint. A blueprint that is confirmed by the designer becomes approved when it is approved by the manager. If it is not approved, it is sent back. So these two products are represented as a synchronous relationship. The specification document that the designer refers to is an input relationship. In the PReP model, there is a validation rule that says, no product can be created with only one product. Let's apply this to the example. There is a structure error because the specification and the blueprint are connected only by one input line. There must be other products to be entered. The design of the blueprint will actually require not only the specifications, but also the design knowledge. In the same way, review criteria will be needed to make an approval decision. Thus, the PReP model allows us to validate the sufficiency of a process model from the logic of its structure. In the PReP model, we separate the process structure from the means. For example, there are many ways to make boiled potatoes, such as boiling them in hot water, heating them in a microwave, or steaming them, but the structure of the products is the same. So process models based on the structure perspective are characterized by high reusability. Thanks to the high reusability of structure models, it is possible to define patterns and anti-patterns. Also, domain-specific processes can be reused by defining them as abstract patterns. In designing business processes, subsystems for executing the system are defined as requirements. As a result, the requirements for the defined subsystems will reflect the conceptual structure of the process. In other words, traceability between the real world and the machine can be achieved. As we have seen so far, the PReP model, as one of the entity-based modeling methods, systematizes modeling concepts and notations. Let me conclude this presentation by highlighting the following features of the PReP model. 1. Accurate process description by validating a process structurally. 2. Reusability of the process patterns and anti-patterns. 3. Ensure traceability between process models and system requirements. Thank you.